Once upon a time, there lived a farmer named Raja. Raja had 3 sons. Their names were Raghupati, Raghav and Rajarama. One fine day, Raja called all his 3 sons and he said this to them.
As I am getting older, you guys are in your young age. It is time for all 3 of you to get married, and I am also willing to share my properties with all 3 of you. I want all 3 of you to leave the house right now and find the suitable wife for you, but under one condition. None of them should know that you are from a rich family, and the wife that you acquire should also be rich. If you fulfill this condition and bring home a suitable wife, I shall split my properties with all 3 of you.
After listening to what Raja said, the eldest son Raghupati goes to his father to ask permission to leave his house.
Your enthusiasm has proven that you are indeed the first son here. Take this money. It will be useful for your journey, and take some food as well. It will be very helpful when you are hungry.
As Raghupati was leaving to find a suitable wife for himself, sitting under a tree was Kitaya. He was looking at Raghupati as he was very lonely, and he calls Raghupati towards him.
Hey young man, where are you going? Why don't you come over here for a minute? If you can come over here and spend time with me, we both can play a game and end it soon.
After listening to what Kitaya said, Raghupati becomes suspicious and he thought to himself,
This seems like a good idea. If I play the game with this man, and if I earn the money through gambling, I would be easily able to get married to a beautiful woman. This seems right.
Raghupati went to play gambling with that man, and unfortunately, he lost all his money. He was really upset about losing all the money that he had. So he went away near a river to sit there and eat. While he was sitting there to eat, a very ugly woman walks towards him named Shamala. She looks at Raghupati and says this.
Sir, I am very hungry. Could you please give me some food? I am starving.
There is no problem. I shall give you a little bit of what I eat. Come and sit with me.
Both of them start eating the food and they enjoy it. Shamala all of a sudden looks at Raghupati and she says this.
I would like to ask you, who are you and what are you planning to do while you're here?
I'm here to marry a very beautiful and rich woman. That is my goal. I have no other intentions.
Then why don't you marry me? I am also a princess. We will be a good fit.
Raghupati looks at the girl and he laughs very loudly. He uncontrollably laughs and he says this to Shamala.
This is totally a joke. Are you playing with me? My wife has to be beautiful and rich. You are neither beautiful nor do you look rich. Don't talk such rubbish things. If you know any woman that is both beautiful and wealthy, you please let me know. Otherwise, you can leave right away, okay?
After listening to what Raghupati said, Shamala becomes very upset and she says this to him.
Fine, I shall help you. If you go down this path in a straight line, you would reach a huge house that has been filled with cobwebs and it looks ancient. Near that house, there is a cave. Once you go down that cave, you would be able to find 2 beautiful angelic princesses. If you can marry one of them, it would be fitting the description of the wife that you prefer. I challenge you to try that.
Raghupati listens to what Shamala said and during sunset, he goes towards the cave to find the path. While he reached the cave on time, he tries to open the door that is outside the cave, but the door is not opening. He knocks as much as he can, but it seems to be of no use. Raghupati says to himself,
What is this? I am knocking the door for such a long time, yet nobody is opening. There is no response here. What should I do now? I guess I have to listen to what Shamla said, and I have to use a bell to open the door. I better get to that.
Raghupati immediately hits the bell and Hashirens hits the bell. The door opens once. Raghupati goes inside. He is unable to find anybody, yet he sees statues of an entire family, man and a few women. Raghupati looks at those statues and says this.
Wow! How marvelous are these statues. The man that must have made these statues must be such a great artist. I wonder who it is.
As Raghupati was admiring the statues, at the time, a huge sound was heard behind him.
Who are you? What are you doing here? What do you want?
After listening to what the sound said, Raghupati became very afraid. He turned back and he saw an old lady An old woman dressing in black is standing there, very fierce. They have a magic stick in their hand. Seeing them, he scared. He said this to the old lady.
I am here to marry a very beautiful princess, which is why I have come from a long way. If there is any beautiful princess, please let me know.
Fine, I shall give you a beautiful princess to marry. But for that, you need to answer 3 questions. My first question is, what is deeper than the ocean? What is the sharper than a thorn? And tell me what is more honorable than food.
Raghubari was unable to answer them. The old lady came towards Raghubari and she hit him with the staff that she had in her hand. Raghubari immediately turned into a statue. After a week, the second son went out to find a wife for himself. He also met the same man that Raghupati met, and the man challenged the second son to gamble with him. But the second son, Raghav, did not know how to gamble.
But I don't know how to play gamble. But if you still insist, you can take off of the money that I have. I have to go on my own way.
After listening what Raghav said, the gambler Kitaya then immediately blessed Raghav, and he said this to him.
I bless you, my friend. The only thing more honorable than food is the blessings that you get from men like me.
Raghav immediately goes near the riverbed and he opens up his food that he had to eat, just like his brother did. At that moment, the very ugly lady named Shamala visits Raghav as well. She looks at him and says this.
I am very hungry. Is it possible that you can give me food?
No problem. If you are hungry, you may eat. I don't have any problem with that.
At that moment, Shamala looks at Raghav and asks the same question that she asked to Raghupati. Raghav said this.
I am here to explore the land and find a beautiful and rich princess to marry.
That is a great idea. I am also a princess. Will you marry me?
After listening to what Shamala said, Raghav could not believe her and he looked at her and said this.
Even if you are a princess, why would I marry such an ugly woman like you?
If my beauty is not enough for you, I shall point you to a place where you might find a lot of beautiful princesses. If you're capable, you might marry them.
After listening to what Shamala said, Raghav goes to the same path that his brother went. He knocks the cave door and he enters in, and as soon as he sees the statue of his brother, he becomes very afraid. He looks at the statue and says this.
Oh my brother, what has happened? Why are you a statue? Who turned you as a statue?
Immediately, the old lady enters the room and asks the same question to Raghav that she asked for Raghupati as well. Raghav confidently looks at the old lady and says this.
Oh yeah, I don't know all the answers to your questions, but I know the answer to the question of what is more honorable than food. But somehow I am not able to remember it right now.
After listening what Raghav said, the old lady starts walking towards Raghav and Raghav tries to run away from the cave. But the old lady hits him with the staff that she had in her hand and turned him into a statue as well. 2 months later, Rajaram leaves the home to find a suitable wife for him. On the way, he also visits the gambler Kitaya sitting under the tree and he says this.
Sir, I am from a very poor family. The money that I have is very important to me. You can play the game that you want, but you won't be able to play it with me. I am not interested in gambling. I shall leave right away. So please don't force me, sir.
Immediately, Rajaram gives away all the money he had to the gambler, and the gambler looks at him with a smile and blesses him.
I bless you. You are a very blessed person. The only thing more honorable than food is blessings.
The gambler went ahead in his own path and Rajaram left towards the riverbed to eat his food. At the same time, Shamala entered the riverbed and she asked the same question that she had asked the previous brothers.
I am very hungry. Is it okay if I eat a little bit from your food?
Hunger is sharper than a thorn. I know the pain of hunger. You can eat as much you want.
Rajaram said this. After a while, Shamala asked the same questions that she asked the other 2 brothers.
What is the purpose of your journey?
Our father had sent all 3 of us to find our own lives and marry the woman that we want to. I guess both of my brothers are already married right now. So this is what I am doing as well. Now it is my turn, so that I am going this way.
After listening to everything that Rajaram said, Shamala said this to him.
Shall we do something then? Now why don't you marry me? I am also a princess. We will be a good fit.
Rajaram thought about it for a while and he said this.
Are you serious? I would be more than happy to marry a princess like yourself. It is a privilege. Take me to your house. I shall talk to your relatives and I shall marry you.
Okay then. All my family members are in a very old bungalow. You can go there and wait there for me. I shall come there after a while. There you can talk with my family members.
Shamala tells Rajaram about the same place she sent both of his brothers to. After telling him exactly where it is, Shamala says this to him.
I want you to remember this. I'm truly in love with you. My love is deeper than any ocean.
Rajaram also reaches the same place that his brothers went to. As soon as he enters the cave, he sees two of his brothers as statues. He becomes very scared and he says this.
Oh my brothers, what has happened to both of you? Our parents think that you both have been married and are living a great life, but both of you are statues right now.
The old lady enters the cave. Immediately, she looks at him and says this.
Who are you? Why are you here? And what do you want?
After hearing the question, Rajaram responds fiercely.
Firstly, who are you? And why have you come here? Why did you turn my brothers into a statue? Why are you doing such cruel things?
Oh, are these men your brothers? Both of them came here to get married. I asked them 3 questions and they were unable to answer that, which is why I turned them into statues.
What are the questions that you asked them? Fine. If I am able to answer those questions, will you let my brothers go?
I shall do that in a second. But firstly, you must have to answer all the 3 questions. What is deeper than the ocean? What is sharper than a thorn? And what is more honorable than food?
Oh, these all the questions? Love is deeper than the ocean. Hunger is sharper than a thorn. And blessings are more honorable than food.
Rajaram answers all the questions efficiently.
Fine. Since I have answered all the questions, please let my brothers go.
Fine, I shall let them go. But you have to do one last favor in order for me to save your brothers.
Alright, tell me what you want.
Alright, marry me. Not only do I let your brothers go, I will also let everybody who are statue in this cave.
The old lady says this. And Rajaram says,
Fine, I shall marry you immediately. But there is one condition. My father told whoever that I marry should marry amidst the fire. You make arrangements for that. I shall marry you right away.
Fine, we shall get married in the way you want to marry. Just wait for a minute. I will arrange for that.
The old lady takes her staff and hits it on the ground and immediately a bonfire is created. Rajaram says this.
We both have to circle this bonfire 7 times in order for the completion of our wedding. Show me your hand.
At that time, the old lady showed the hands towards Rajaram. Rajaram picked up the staff and broke into pieces and put it in the fire. The old lady vanished into a thin air and all the statues become people again. Rajaram's 2 brothers and the entire family who were statues were now brought back to life. They all were very happy. At that moment, beautiful lady from outside the cave enters the cave and reunites with her family. And all of them shed happy tears. The woman goes towards Rajaram along with her family and says this to Rajaram.
This is the man that saved my life and all of our lives. I want to marry this man right away.
Shamala said this to Rajaram. And Rajaram says,
No. I have promised another princess that I am going to marry her. I cannot break the promise that I have given to her. I am so sorry.
The woman was none other than Shamala, but Rajaram couldn't recognize that.
That woman is very ugly woman. Why do you want to marry her? Why don't you marry me? Am I not pretty?
The woman that I am about to marry might not be as pretty as you, but she loves me. That is all I needed for this lifetime.
Fine, you can marry her and marry me as well. If you refuse me, I will destroy your life.
Don't you have any shame? You might be pretty, but you have no heart. She is the reason why I was able to save all of you. If she didn't direct me here, I wouldn't be here.
That is me. I am that ugly woman Shyamala. I was a princess year before, but this evil old lady came and destroyed our lives and turned my family into stone. While I escaped from her, she couldn't turn me into stone, but she made my face very ugly. And my father is the king of this city. This is our palace.
After listening to what Shamala said, Rajaram was very happy. And few days later, the king took his 3 daughters to his kingdoms. He got his 3 daughters and get married to all 3 of them. So Rajaram's good intentions, humanisance and his skills traveled to old witch's Bhairavakona palace. May everyone lived happily. If you like this story, do like it, share it. For more new stories, please subscribe our New Stories Book English YouTube channel.